All right, so today we are launching into a deep dive on the law firm Bedsore Law. We want to look at how they strategically tackle, these really tough elder care negligence cases.
Exactly. And we're going to use a recent case to really get under the hood of their approach. It's not just about winning, it's about how they force accountability.
Right. And one thing that stands out right away is their focus. They're not a general practice firm. It's all bed sores, fall injuries, wrongful death. That's it.
That specialization is key. And they make it accessible, too. They have this no recovery, no fee policy.
Which is huge for families in that situation.
Yeah.
Plus, free case evaluations, and they have services in Spanish, se habla español. They really remove those initial barriers.
So to really see how this all works, we need to look at this one specific wrongful death case out of Louisiana.
Okay, let's get into it.
It ended in a $627,000 settlement. The case involved a resident at the Bayou Vista Community Care Center.
And this is where the neglect starts, right? The resident, who had impaired cognition, had a fall from her wheelchair.
She did. And despite the facility having its own internal policies that say, you have to do a full physical assessment, they didn't.
They didn't check her at all.
They failed to check her lumbar or hip area. They just wrote off her pain as chronic back issues.
Wow. So they just assumed.
Yeah.
And left potentially serious injuries completely undiagnosed.
Completely. And that initial failure just compounded. Weeks go by, and now she develops a urinary tract infection, a UTI, that the facility fails to properly monitor or even treat.
Oh, no. I think I know where this is going.
Yeah. It resulted in urosepsis, which is a life-threatening condition. She's rushed to the hospital.
And that's when they find the real problem.
That's when they find it. Doctors discover she has these severe, untreated fractures, a femoral neck fracture, and suprapubic rami fractures, all from that original fall.
Weeks earlier. So she'd been living with broken bones that whole time.
For weeks. She needed immediate hip surgery, but her body was already so weakened from the infection. She died from post-operative complications within a month.
Unbelievable. But of course, the nursing home is going to fight it. What was their defense?
The standard playbook. Denial. They pushed back, claiming those fractures must have happened during the hospitalization.
So they tried to shift the blame to the hospital staff. How do you even fight that? I mean, how do you prove when the break actually happened?
It comes down to forensics and expert testimony. Bedsore Law's attorneys brought in experts who could medically demonstrate that the fractures were, without a doubt, from the initial fall in April.
So they established the timeline.
They locked down the timeline. But they also did something more. They connected the dots. They showed that the urosepsis, her whole deteriorated condition, was a direct result of the nursing home's failure to provide even basic care. It wasn't just one mistake.
It was a pattern, a complete systemic failure.
Exactly.
And that strategy led to this settlement, $627,000. Now, I heard that figure is actually well above the state cap in Louisiana for these kinds of cases. How is that possible?
That's the real strategic masterstroke here. The cap is $500,000 for standard medical malpractice claims. But they successfully argued this wasn't just standard malpractice. This was a sustained corporate failure. By proving the gross negligence in assessment, monitoring, and treatment was systemic, they pushed the claim beyond the limits of that standard cap.
So they changed the classification of the negligence itself?
That's how they did it.
Yeah.
It shows a dedication to digging for the whole truth. And you see that reflected in what the family said. The client mentioned the firm treated her case as if it were personal.
So what this really tells us is that their success isn't just about winning a case, it's about how they redefine the fight to get real justice for these families.
It does. And it leaves you with a pretty big question, I think.
What's that?
Well, considering this firm's success in legally exceeding a state malpractice cap, what does that tell you about the true cost of systemic negligence? It suggests that the system itself, with these caps, might be undervaluing the damage and that true accountability is worth far more.